Starting. We are live. We are live, everyone. Thanks for joining. We are missing one person. We're going to start off with some introductions. We will start off with IJ first. So give us the rundown, and then Emeka, you can follow what she's done. Missing one person.
Just about.
We're going to start off with some introductions. We will start off with
echo happening.
Give us the rundown, and then Emeka, you can follow what she's done.
You got to close the YouTube you're on.
Yeah, I did. I paused.
Cool. So just a little bit about me. My name is Ijam. Everybody calls me IJ. I'm from Imo State in Nigeria, born in Houston. I am actually, I like to say that for my 9 to 5, I'm a project engineer. But from 5 to 9, I'm pretty much a blogger, and then it's part of my writing team. So glad to be joining y'all today.
And Emeka.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is Emeka. Sorry you can't see my face just yet. I'm working on some technical difficulties over here. But anyway, Nigerian from Abia State, born in California. I did live in Nigeria for a couple of years as well. Project manager in Houston, Texas. So my opinion should be interesting, but on to the next intro.
Well, Kenneth is not here. Kenneth is supposed to be here. He is a Rivers man. I cannot disclose where he works because I think it's confidential, and I'm not trying to get killed by any CIA agent. And as for me, I'm Nena. Born and raised in California, social media, annihilator, everything. I am a contributing writer for IJ's Contemporary African Woman, Ivory. Did he log in? Ivory Ari. And so we are just gonna have a discussion about Jadinsky's video that has been floating around, or audio that has been floating around in regards to domestic violence. It actually has a lot of layers to it, and I just want to get some different viewpoints from IJ, from Emeka. I may sprinkle in my own viewpoints. I'm going to try and remain as neutral as possible and not get all in my feelings. But I'm pretty sure IJ and Emeka have listened to the audio, and I just want to get, I'll be taking notes, by the way. I just want to get your initial reactions to it, so we can begin with IJ.
Okay, so after watching that video, honestly, I felt, I pitied the guy. Just from listening to his lamentations and all the complaints, I felt bad. I felt bad for him. Like, I knew that he killed somebody, but I just, like, the tone of his voice and the way he was crying over the phone, I almost pitied him. That's pretty much that's what my first reaction was to the video. But like, sitting down and like kind of going through it in my head, I think it's a pretty what's the word? It's pretty, like, it's in a lot of families, honestly. So it's nothing new. It's something that I personally probably experienced within my family, and something to that that not to where somebody died, but pretty much something that I've heard in Houston, something that happens a lot amongst our Nigerian household. But my initial thought was I pitied him. I felt bad for him, and because of his frustration, he committed murder. So,
Emeka, what were your initial reactions in regards to the audio?
It was tough to listen to. The first time I actually clicked on it, I couldn't actually finish listening to it. I like literally backed out because it's very infuriating that someone would let anger drive them to such a position to kill another person, regardless of everything that he was saying. It's a very strong emotion to go that far. to kill someone that you claim. But anyway, my initial reaction was just disgust and anger. That's basically what it was. I feel I felt no pity for him whatsoever. I just was disgusted by it. Period. That's the best way to put it on that one.
So Ijoma felt pity.
Right.
Honestly, like the way he was like,
I
hey, you
felt
want to kill me? Like, you turned all my kids against me, man. I was just like, dang. But then again, we don't know the lady's story, like her side of the story. So,
Well, of course, she has a bullet in her face.
say that one more time.
I said, of course, we didn't know her side of the story because she had a bullet in her
dead.
Yeah. Well, I think, okay, I may seem a bit harsh, but there's so many issues I had with what he was saying. When I tell you I had no pity for him at all whatsoever, I actually thought he had the most fragile ego that I can. I literally thought it was just a fragile ego, not even mental instability, nothing like that. There's no reason because I'm building a house in my father's land, or you think because I'm making too much money, or you feel that I'm treating you some type of way, or you feel like I'm emasculating you. There's no way that you should shoot me in my face, kick me, spit on me, and call me a demon and a witch. I know, like when I was listening to it, I was angry. And just like Emeka, I honestly had to listen to it in pieces. I didn't listen to the whole thing straight. That was like a 4 or 5 minute audio, right?
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't listen to the whole thing. And this is coming from someone, I may have lived in a hostile environment, but there was never one time that I saw my father beat anyone, not a man or a woman. So for me to hear something like that and to actually know that something like this does happen in our community really, really pissed me off. And that's where I really wanted this discussion to even go to, is the whole domestic violence in our community. A lot of people don't want to admit that it's a problem. A lot of people don't want to discuss it. It's almost like a hush hush, or they don't think that even a Nigerian man is capable of it, or things, especially in our community. I can't speak for, everyone, because there is, I'm talking about in our community. I mean, all of us here are Nigerian. So I'm talking in particular, isolated down into our community. How do you, Ijoma, how do you feel about taking it from that audio with the whole, I know you felt sorry for him, but taking it from that and bringing it in now, how domestic violence does affect our community? How do you see that correlation, or how do you think that correlates? If you think it even correlates with each other.
So I think, like, the first thing that I want to say is domestic violence isn't just like, this is the extreme of the extreme, right? This is murder, right? Domestic violence starts from, oh, you stupid woman. Oh, it's the verbal, it's physical, it's an emotional abuse as well, right? So, I mean, somewhat there is a correlation, because obviously he physically harmed this woman. In our communities, a lot of, especially, we hear a lot of, guys, the male beating the woman, or, that's kind of the situation that we're used to hearing. And I think at least my perspective, it's not justifiable, essentially. There shouldn't be a reason why a grown man is hitting another woman, right? This is 2017. We are civilized people, hopefully, and hopefully we can talk through a lot of things. When it comes down to, like, from the video, you can tell that he was very mad that all the hard work he put in pretty much like fell apart because, you know, he paid for her to go through school, and then, you know, whatever else he was doing. And the lady in turn is saying, hey, don't do certain things. Oh, I'm allowed to do certain things, right? So that's where the pity came from, because like for you, you know, you want to reap your fruits, and that was not the exact fruit he was trying that he planted, or he thought he planted, right? So in terms of, I don't think that murdering somebody is like the solution to it, but I can get his frustration. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yep.
Emeka, what about you? How do you feel about domestic violence in our community? Do you think it's an issue? Do you think and the audio is extreme? It is. It's hard, but it has happened. It's not like this was just pulled out of thin air. Things like this happen in you guys' home cities of Houston. Things like this have happened. So how do you think, or where do you think our community stands with, I'm not saying you're speaking for every Nigerian out there, but as far as like domestic violence, how do you think the audio correlates with domestic violence in our community?
I think using the audio as a speaking point is pretty good to use or to start from, to show you the extreme side of things, obviously, to let you know this is the road that it leads down to. From hearing what he was talking about, he was dealing with issues or whatever he had for years. Either A, he was suppressing it, or he was expressing himself. Either or, you don't just jump the gun, I mean, literally, and shoot somebody in the face. Like, it's a buildup to it, right? So if there's any history of him exercising domestic violence or hitting, yelling, screaming, whatever the situation was, that's the extreme of it. But to our community side, you mentioned it, you've come from, well, let's not do that, but it's things are more, violence is more acceptable in African communities, Nigerian communities, third world communities, because that's what we grew up to, that's what we got exposed to. Besides the point of living with frustration and not being able to vocalize it. It's more or less speak with your hands type thing, right? So
just square up.
Hey, there you go. Well, not in that sense. More like I slap the shit out you. You shit down. I'm sorry, I'm not even supposed to curse, but more like your parents. They raise, what's that thing? Raise the child. Yeah, there we go. You flug the child enough for it to go into the right direction. You use violence as a point of correction, right? So sometimes these men, I say these men because I'm not in that category, and I know a lot of guys are not, but these men feel, you know, they're empowered. Oh, I brought you from Nigeria. You're my responsibility. You're my property. That's where that thinking comes from. You belong to me, so whatever I say goes. And if you go out of line, I put you in place, be it with violence or whatever means. In this case, obviously, it was with violence. You don't have a gun or possess a gun without intention of using it. You don't have a gun without the intent of violence behind it. So there's a lot of build up to that, which is why I was disgusted with the dude, because that's not something that was premeditated in my mindset. What triggered it was, oh, I'm angry, I'm emotional, I've killed someone, I don't know how to cover my tracks, I'm just going to call the cops. I don't know what he was thinking. No one's going to know what she was thinking, because obviously death is final. So, which is why I was so disgusted about the whole video, that when I got mad at Nenda for sending me the damn video to begin with. But the community itself, we've accepted violence as a thing. We tend to do a hush hush about it in respect to other things about our Nigerian community, more in the sense of, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Because
African time.
You know, especially with other people's relationship. Like if you hear your friends in a relationship and they have violence going on, we were raised to mind your own business. That's what works for them. So leave them be. So we're more accepting of it, more in the sense because our culture is circled around that and everything else that ties between that. But, you know, enough of my rambling. I'll let the next person go on.
Kenneth.
I'm sorry. I was trying to make it a non, but nice
of you to join us at African time.
I had a very long day, but fill me in so I can start.
Everybody, Kenneth has joined the broadcast. If you would like to let people know a little bit about yourself, I said that you work for CIA or you don't work for CIA. I can't disclose. I didn't want to tell anyone where you work, what you do. All I said is that you're a Rivers man. Please, whoever's listening, don't do anything to me. If this is Kenneth's people, please.
I work for the government. Yeah, that's about it.
Anything else you would like to say about yourself, Kenneth?
Yeah, I'm a very black and white proud person. I don't have time for foolish banter, and I'm gonna say how it is. Yeah, I'm not participating in the foolishness or the political correctness.
Oh, just no cursing.
I'll try my best.
Oh. So, Kenneth, before we move on to further discussion or more in depth with domestic violence in our community, can you please let us know your initial reactions to the audio, the Jadensky audio?
My initial reaction was, the dude, something's clearly wrong with the dude. The stuff, but there's two sides to every coin. I don't think that killing her solved any problem. I think that was very childish and foolish. It happens. It happens because, and I think that he's to blame for everything because, again, like you and I discussed, there's no way that a 40-something-year-old man is gonna go get a 19-year-old girl from the village and think that she's not going to change. At 19, she doesn't even know who she is. You know what I mean? So of course she's gonna change. It's just that she's gonna change as she takes in all this nonsense American culture and all the bad things that they teach them here. So I mean, he said a couple of trash things like, "You don't want to give me my check." That's really trash. She's not his slave. That stuck to me. That was really trash. Because if he wanted the check so bad, he could have went to nursing school himself.
He could.
It's trash. It's not my fault. Why are you laughing?
It is.
I'm going to Nazi school.
I mean,
facts.
It's like it's trash. You know? Like he's more than likely he's probably driving cab or doing business. He's doing business that probably didn't amount to anything, and he wanted to take her money to to top off whatever nonsense he was doing because we do business. I'm doing business. I could. I'm not saying it's right, but I could see how it happened. My mom, when I get married, God willing, my mom's coming to stay in my house. No one's telling me that she can't come stay in my house unless she's causing problems. But my mother's not that type of person, and any type of wicked woman that won't allow my mother to come stay in my own goddamn house that I built. You're a nurse, or I'm sorry, Kurt. I don't care.
This is gonna be a problem.
I don't care if you're the second nun to Jesus. My mom's coming to stay with me. Like that's just what's gonna happen. If she wants. What was one of the other trash things he said? Because you're a nurse, you think you're God, Abby? No, because she's a nurse, he thought she was God. You know, he had a problem, but that's the monster he created. So that's his fault. I think this generation, and this is probably where y'all probably gonna get upset. I think this generation of Nigerian women, y'all have this new type of thing y'all doing. I take a lot of advice. I'm speaking to Nigerian, taking a lot of advice from damaged women and women that come from failed relationships and failed situations. Don't let any man oppress you. You have to show him you are a boss. And then you take that and enter a relationship with it, not knowing that the dude you're entering a relationship with is crazy. And this is how people get killed. That's what happens. Because and wasn't right in the head, and that situation that we heard didn't happen overnight.
Right.
He goes blown crazy. They show you signs. And what did she think? She think that a man was going to bring her to America, and then what? You have to be realistic with yourself. more than likely he's going to try to oppress you. He's going to try to keep his thumb on you because he feels like he owns you. Because most men have ego problems, and they feel like if they do something big like that for a woman, she's like forever in debt to them.
Question, Kenneth. I got a question for you. I'm sorry to interject, but are you saying, so what if she was a nurse before he met her? Are you saying this would have never happened?
Met him, then he's even a bigger fool. Because no. Let's be real. Like none of our dating, right? And on my SoundCloud rap career, and Nana is in nursing school. She's going to make more money than me. So we get married. I can't expect her. Oh, why you?
He didn't say.
Huh? What are you writing?
The guy didn't say his job, so.
Yeah, but because he probably didn't have one. He's probably doing business.
Kenneth, your audio. I don't know if you have headphones with the microphone.
Oh, I thought that was just me. Yeah, your audio is pretty bad.
Oh, I'm talking to my car. Let me see if I can fix this. Y'all cutting into my gym time.
But we told you the time already. I really do think that I feel like a guy who solely is marrying a woman. See, but then that gets sticky because women date men according to their careers as well. But
I'm glad you admitted it.
Huh?
I'm glad you admitted. But go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. Women do date men according to their careers, and I feel like there are some men out there that strictly are looking for nurses. I don't know about any other domestic violent cases, probably because they're not being reported. But there have been a lot of cases where it seems like the women that are getting murdered or in some kind of domestic violence have been nurses. I'm not going to say it's only them because it does happen to everyone else, but I think there's this, all the nurses make so much money, they'll take care of you, and then sometimes the men that go strictly for the nurses are, I feel like I'm trying to be as correct, politically correct as possible without making that. But I feel like there are some men that strictly go out or search for nurses so that the nurse can be like their sugar mama. And
well,
you know, that's trash. What man is that?
Right. Coming from the Houston area, it's funny because, you know, Houston is a healthcare booming area, whatever. I've heard stories where men, most men are staying at home while the women who are nurses go to work. But when the women come back, they stomp on the guys, essentially. Like,
what? They sponsor?
Say that one more time.
They sponsor the guy?
No, stomp on. Pretty much like walk all over them because they're the breadwinners in this situation, right?
That's also trash.
Kind of, huh?
I said that's. Can y'all hear me?
I had trash. But
yeah, that's trash. I have my headphones in. I don't know if you can't hear me.
Yeah, it's like breaking up. What'd you say?
Oh.
Yeah,
you said that's trash.
Like, I've heard like situations in the Houston area where a lot of women are nurses and pretty much their family, she's like the man, like ruling over the man in the family. That's what I've heard.
I mean, I think that's true, but why would you put yourself in that situation and then cry that you're being emasculated?
Good stuff.
One move.
I mean, the other question you guys need to ask yourself is the background of these men that end up in the situation or end up, you know, resorting to such means, because half of the time they're usually poorly educated.
Thank you. They're doing business.
There you go. They're doing shit with them. Sorry, doing nothing with their life kind of situation. So they're looking for opportunity or who can I nest on. So even the ones they bring from Nigeria to come here, what's the quickest thing for them to get money on? Nursing. Go be a nurse, home health, something. Then they take that and use it to their advantage and come back and say, oh, I'm the one who made you, so everything in life you've made over here belongs to me type situation. So it's not, the factors are more, it's more to it than just that. You got to balance all that or consider all that at the same time.
That was a nice way to put it. I really do still feel like there's too many layers. There's too many factors. Again, we don't know the whole story, but the audio just made me upset. It made me angry. Right. I don't like dudes that don't have any ambition for themselves, and they really think that the way out is just to go back home, get the woman, bring her here, and they also that also brings, maybe that can be for a different conversation about the whole marrying back home and marrying here, because that's also a big issue. I know I've been judged a lot because I've been born here. They feel like I'm wild, I can't be controlled, all these certain things, which is not fair to get somebody off. I mean, we'll discuss that too at another time, but it's almost like
you are wild.
Whatever. It's like what Kenneth said, like, why would you set yourself up for that? Like, why would you go searching strictly for a girl back home who's probably 10, 15 years your junior, bring her here strictly just to go to nursing school, and then think that you're entitled to everything and think that she won't grow? Like, unless you don't think highly of her brain, to think that it's just like things are not gonna change. And then you come in, but it causes problems.
Yes. What about
that's why they become violent and dominating, because they feel if they oppress her, she'll get used to it, or she's gonna, that. Yeah, you get that thinking where you think, oh shit, I'm scared of this dude because he's crazy. He might kill me, so I gotta say that again.
Stockholm syndrome.
There we go, Stockholm syndrome. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, Stockholm syndrome. So once they have that mentality, they stuck for life. Oh, he hits me because he loves me.
Yeah.
You've heard it before.
Yeah.
That happens.
IJ wanted to say something.
Say what?
I said IJ wanted to say something.
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't believe in that loving and then beating. That does not make sense.
Oh, no, I don't believe in it, but it happens. I don't believe in it at all, but I see it happens. I hear it happening all the time. Like,
right. Right. And to some,
so what do you guys
justifiable? Because we have to recognize also we come from a very religious, country, right? A lot of parts of the Bible are saying like submit to your husband, right? And and our mothers also help that situation too, because if we go complain to our mom, hey, this guy is beating you, mom say, oh, go figure it out.
No, I don't know what mother you have. I wish somebody would put their hands on one of my sisters, yo. We form like Voltron. Like I'm saying, that's trash. Like you just don't.
That's trash, but you need to understand that aunties and mothers do say go fix your marriage. There is a reason why the guy beats you, so go and figure it out and don't do it again.
See, that's what I'm saying. That comes from back home thinking or back home traditional way. Back in the day, women weren't working. They were not bringing nothing to the table. So they were subject because, hey, I've married this dude. No one else is going to marry me after I've married him. No one else is going to take me. I don't bring anything to the table, so I am submitting to him. Versus now where you have the tables are turned. Where in this situation, it's not that, oh, the man goes to work and comes back and beats up his wife because she doesn't put food on the table. It's more like, oh, I put you through school, you're not giving me your paycheck, what's going on type situation. So it's left in the position where the woman has no reason to actually be with the guy versus the other way around where she has every reason to stay.
That's
so
true.
The old school, when you talk to anyone from obviously our traditional thinking people, from our aunts or our relatives who are from back home, and you go to them for help, that's why they suggest that. They tell you, oh no, stay with him, he'll change. Oh no, she didn't, you're not cooking well, that's why. Or some dumb shit. They come up with their own timeline of fixing a problem instead of relating and understanding that, okay, these are completely different generations and completely different situation entirely.
And also, like, we have access to love and hip hop. You know what I mean? So
there you go. No, true, because it's not, to be very honest, it's not all the man's fault. I blame the women in some of the situation, and especially if you're in an abusive relationship and you stay. I'm sorry. Like, in some case, like, what did you think? How did you think this was going to end? Oh, I'm going to fix him. He's going to change. No, whatever situation you got yourself into, that's the situation you get yourself into. And that's
He's not a motor to be fixed, though. Please
say that again.
I said he's not a motor to be fixed, though. See, when you catch things.
No, but
yeah, when you see the thing is that there are early signs for that something.
Thank you.
Maybe this guy this guy murdered this woman. Maybe he was the one that would get mad and punch the wall in. You know what I mean?
Right.
About your future. Maybe
or when they play fighting
one day.
When they play fighting, it's like when they play fighting and she doesn't want to play no more. He says, "Let me get my hit back." You know.
Right. Right.
Like that's like, hey, no, you see, you need to open your eyes. There's something about love. They say love is blind, but it's the time to shine your eyes. But the thing is that before you got into that marriage, there were some things that now maybe if she was alive or whatever, she would have looked back and said, "Man, you know, I should have caught that," right? So there are signs of abusive like people.
And women can be abusive as well.
I agree.
Right.
I support that one.
Because he said she turned the kids against him. That's one. Two, she put him out of his house. That's that. Look, let me tell you something. You and I can get married and we have a problem. We have to separate. And I built this house with my own hands from scratch. Then we're roommates because you're not putting me out of my house. That's trash. Like what is that? And it happens to so many. This dude at my job, he was just telling me that he's living in a hotel because his wife called 911 on him. I say, yo, better you than me. I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean living in a hotel? That's trash. Like, what is that?
So, okay, so since we're still on the topic of domestic violence and disconnecting relationships, how do you guys feel about women that do hit men and not expect to get hit back?
Can I talk about that?
That's not realistic.
Hold on. You tell me you have something to say.
Please, if you're a woman and you're hitting a man, your cup will still run it over.
Thank you. Because I might be having a bad day at work.
I believe that guys are physically stronger than girls. You cannot be slapping a man anyhow, please.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Feminists will kill you.
But no, okay, anyway, that's my opinion. Whatever. So
I hold the same opinion. Like, honestly,
yeah,
like I don't male or female. If you hit someone, expect to get hit back. Period.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Period.
Hard.
If you can hit me, believe I can hit you twice as hard. So
set yourself up.
Don't put yourself in
your fist.
Right. Don't put yourself in that position. Period. If you feel like you can take a hit, sure, hit me or you won't, because I'm gonna hit you back. Whether you're a male, whether you're a female.
I mean, you gotta. Who would try to hit you?
Well, that's my point exactly. So if you're gonna make the attempt, then I'm sorry. I'm gonna entertain what you try to do and see how far you can take it. It's just that simple. Be you a male or female, you shouldn't hit anyone and don't expect to get hit back.
I can't think we can. Kenneth is brolic his dangle self.
But I've never had a woman try to hit me. One, because it's trash, and two, I don't play that shit. I don't know. I don't know what that is. You know, all this. What's the one? The new one Nigerian girls are doing all this in the face and all that. Don't put your hands next to my body. Like, what is that? That's trash.
That's that love and hip hop. But yeah, like seriously, it's just that's my rule. I honestly I see it happen all the time where girls be hitting guys. I'm like, oh wow, he hit me back. I can't believe he hit me. Like, what would you think was gonna happen? Like,
no, because they
But it's very rare from the cases that I've known, not personal experience, but cases that I guess, read about or known about indirectly. I don't really know too many Nigerian women to be placing their hands on a woman. I don't know if it happens.
Instigator.
So you're telling me after Solange beat up Jay-Z and the Nigerian Nkechi and Chioma didn't try it?
I don't think so.
Actually, can we talk about that? You see how like the statistics of women, like guys hitting girls, are rare. It's even rarer for a woman to like statistics for a woman that's hitting a man, because the man is telling is how do you a man, how do you tell your fellow man that you were beaten by a woman?
You know what Kenneth would tell him? My friend got out. No friends.
Exactly. Like, handle your woman. Oh yeah, next. That's kind of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's. Let me know.
I mean, I feel the same way too. If a dude
explain to your fellow man that you're being beaten
right, but then again, if you're a dude with a female who hits you, I mean, you're pretty dumb as well. Then, like, what are you doing in that situation? Seriously.
And I want to say that applies vice versa.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's vice versa. If you're a female and you're in that situation, you're pretty dumb. If you're a guy, same thing. It goes all around. It's all around the board, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know.
You don't know. We have told you. Better know now.
I know you guys told me, but it's just
Wait, what's your stance?
No, you hit men.
No, I don't. I don't hit men. No, I don't hit men.
Stand well.
I don't hit men. I don't like to hit people. I'm on the if you put your hands on someone as a human being, expect for that human being to possibly hit you back. Everybody is in their right state of mind to continue getting beat on or is quick enough to miss your punches. I don't like when women feel that a man should have so much restraint that if they're hitting them, that the guy should just either walk away or no. If you put your hands on someone, anyone, whether a male or a female, expect to get punched back. That's what I don't like is if a woman is using her words and you punch me because I struck a nerve. That I don't agree with. Let me say something. Retaliate. As in my words, whether I'm in your face or I say something like,
no, that is
I disagree with that.
What?
I disagree with that. There's limitations. There's limitations to things you can say that might resort to physical violence. So you might just, don't test it. Why are you testing it out to find out what it is? Well, let me see where I can pinch the nerve.
You don't do that. You provoke that, right?
Right, exactly.
I'm suspecting you.
All I'm saying is that no matter what I say, because I could be harsh with my words, I'm not gonna lie. So my words does not equate getting slapped. If I say, okay.
When he tells you, what did you say? Say that again. Will you say it again?
And I will say, thunder, fire, your whole family. I curse.
Wow, it's fighting words, yo.
Hello, can we go back to the definition?
Can you come visit me in the hospital?
It can be verbal. Seriously. So you have faults. Yeah, you have committed domestic violence.
I didn't commit a domestic violence. If we're arguing and we get to that point and I say something, maybe it struck a nerve, but that's my mouth. My mouth does not equate to me getting slapped.
That's why he struck your mouth.
But I think it takes a mature person to pull yourself out of that situation and tell everybody to, hey, calm down. We can get back to this again. Because if you make rash decisions like that when you're heated, the results are not going to be good.
I mean, I'm not reckless anymore. I've grown up. I'm older. I'm talking about still, no matter what comes out of my mouth, I'm not putting my hands on you. Therefore, you shouldn't put your hands on me.
And you know what I say to that? You can't control how people react.
Right.
Therefore, be very careful and mindful of the stuff you say and do. The one where a guy would say, I'm not dealing with this, and he turns his back to walk away, and then the girl would do the back slap, and, oh, I'm talking to you. Don't walk away from me. And he's like, what?
But I won't put my hands. I won't put my hands if I can hold back that much to where I don't put my hands on.
But you're not holding back. You're instigating by verbally insulting the person. So that's not holding back at all.
Not holding back when it's just my mouth that's insulting you.
You're provoking him. Words cut deeper than hits. You're provoking him.
So it's a lose-lose for me. If I
no, it's just don't. Okay, see my rule of thumb is just don't be an ass to the next person, and the next person will be an ass to you. However way they choose to be an ass, be it physical or verbal. I mean, you can't determine how the person chooses to react to that. You can't say, "Oh, all I did was just spit in your face. Why are you punching me right now, or are you kicking me?" Like you can't choose. You can't choose the reaction someone's going to do when you piss them off.
Spitting is I wouldn't spit on anyone, but if I say something like, "Oh, see how ugly you are. Your whole body is just irrelevant. Why would you now slap me?"
Because that may be the thing. That may be the thing to tip him over that day.
I'm saying for the sake of getting along with the next person. That's my point. My point is just don't instigate the next person. The next person will take it to the next step. Period. Don't provoke the next person.
You guys are not. Your reaction may be verbal.
No, that don't want to fight. He wants to fight. Hey, see, Wonder Woman. Hey, strong job.
I don't want to fight. I'm just saying my word does not equate getting slapped.
So you would rather go back to a verbal onslaught of just insults back and forth? That's what you would prefer?
Insulting each other.
Okay, good luck.
Many physical fights started from.
Thank you. That's my point.
Exchange
right.
Words. So
nothing ever. Physical fights don't start from you just seeing someone and you guys just physically start throwing blows. Someone must have said something.
On site.
And it's over.
So here's what I gathered from everyone. Okay, in regards to going back to the audio, it pissed 2 people off. Ijoma felt sorry for the guy. Domestic violence is. So do you guys still think domestic violence is prevalent in our community or not? Since we're all Nigerians here, do you guys? Who said no?
I would say violence is prevalent. Period. It's not limited to domestic violence, but no, I wouldn't say it's prevalent. No, I wouldn't.
Can you please expatiate, please?
That's it. I don't feel there's an epidemic, if that's what you're asking.
Well, I feel like any instance of it is an epidemic to me.
Then everyone has that problem. Then it's not just us. It's not just Nigerians. Nigerians are known for domestic violence. No, I wouldn't say that.
But
in Maryland, they are.
In Maryland,
yeah.
Well, when I lived there, it wasn't that bad. So unless it got worse, then
I'm telling you, I've processed some of them. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. See, so we have, since it's not being recorded, or is not being reported to an authority, we have someone that actually, he can't give names, but there's still some cases that are actually going on. Are they Nigerian? I'm just saying, since we're all Nigerian in our community, because I really do feel like there are a lot of people that dismiss it and think that it's not an issue, or think that it doesn't happen when it happens a lot.
You know why? Because Nigerians are all about the show. They're all about what it looks like.
Facts.
So I can be married to you and punch your face 12 hours out of the day. That 13th hour, you come outside, you will wear makeup, wear tie, gele, and you would talk about everybody else. Like, I just didn't finish slamming your head through a coffee table, and we would act like it's so good, and we would brag about our children that just saw me beat you up. And now when little Ike is of age, he would beat up his own girlfriend because he's seen Daddy Ike do it. But we will act like it doesn't. But we will act like it doesn't. I'm telling you, I've processed 3 of them already, and one of them, it was some domestic thing, and the other 2, it was family stuff that was involved. Like, I think the wife insulted his family, whatever it was, and he beat her up. Like he went to work on her. So it happens. It happens a lot because
it does happen a lot.
The Nigerian man's ego is very
fragile.
Don't start that. That's trash.
How is it?
But
how is it trash?
You sound like somebody. You sound like somebody. Yeah, that's that's poisonous. Don't start that.
Yeah,
But
I can't get down with the man bashing, which is the reason why I didn't want to make that general statement.
no, tell them talking about fragile. What's fragile? Just because I don't allow you to disrespect me doesn't mean that my ego is fragile.
Okay. We'll expatiate on that in a bit. But
what I'm saying is, but you know our culture, the way a man is supposed to be a man. You know, like he's supposed to be like the Rock. Back in the day when our grandparents had many wives, it was, well, at least my people said a man is not a man if he can't control his women because he had multiple wives, or women and his children.
Eh?
Now think of a man.
People
Come on,
say that now.
Most of our grandparents are polygamous.
Say what you said again. I didn't catch that one.
you drama
a man is not a man. A man is not a man if he cannot control his wives and his children.
Oh, you mean back in the day or now?
Back in the day, and people still say it now. People still think it now. You can't control your wife, then is that really your wife?
Imagine me and Nana are married. We're going to a party. Nana decides she wants to wear hot pants and leave her breast out.
Hey,
people are breaking up. I'm not hearing what you're saying. She went to party. What happened to her clothes?
She's now wearing hot pants and her breasts are out, and she's showing tattoo. And that's not embarrassing to me.
Oh, what I wear, since I'm supposed to be representing you, what I wear would represent my broadcast. What I'm wearing.
Please, let's not get into that one.
I know that's
because if your sister was
that's more of a preference thing, honestly. Like
what I'm saying, it would make me being a pompous and arrogant and typical Nigerian man. How do you think that what do you think will come of that?
Yeah.
But then again, see, if you said if you guys were married, right, or if you guys were dating, which one?
Either or,
that's two different levels.
Yeah, I mean,
well, then again,
what are you attracted to though? Is it not the?
Yeah, because you're attracted to vagina doesn't mean you need to show it. But the point is more in a sense like if you're dating someone or if you're married to the person, I think you guys would have some kind of rules as to going out, you know. So it'll be up to you guys to determine what is acceptable and what is not. And if you guys haven't had that discussion and you end up finding that out the hard way, then obviously you guys need to have that discussion. But I think that's another thing with Nigerian communities. Like certain things, you're supposed to know. You have to have that discussion before you start thinking that, I guess. But I don't know.
Of course, that's a communication.
So,
break.
Yeah, which is why I can't. If you notice, I don't like to do stereotypes because obviously that doesn't. I don't think that works. We have a lot of diversified Nigerians.
Diversified Nigerians.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
That's a new vocabulary.
Like Nigerian Houstonians are a little bit different from Maryland Nigerians, honestly, from my experience at least. You guys are more.
You guys.
Oh, my bad.
Stereotyping.
I don't care what you guys.
There you go. No, I see the same thing. LA Nigerians are a little bit different as well. I am originally from LA, but
they're very different.
Very different. So that's why I don't like to put all Nigerians in one particular category. To be very honest, LA Nigerians are more traditional.
LA Nigerians are more traditional?
Yeah, really?
LA Nigerians are the bougie Nigerians.
Hey!
You said LA Nigerians are more bougie?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay, we're digressing from the main topic, so I'll leave that one alone. That's a different
topic.
Okay.
And then you asked a question about like domestic violence being prevalent or whatever.
Yes, I did ask about like Emeka said he doesn't believe that it is.
In what?
I think I want to believe that it's getting better to where people are not, physically abusing each other or whatever. But I will say that people are coming out a lot more about it. I don't know if anybody read Tokemakiwan's book.
I did.
I cannot stand
where, huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
He can't stand her.
Yes, I get her. Okay, I get it. But I think that her book is a good example of like non-physical abuse. She was emotionally abused, if that makes sense.
Please. Oh, please.
Huh?
Hey, for those who haven't read the book, what's the premise on the book?
She talks too much.
Okay.
Haha, okay.
We have 10 minutes.
Is together with some guy for about 15 years of her life, and it's just a bunch of him cheating and her not leaving and him apologizing and her forgiving him. It was just a cycle of that. It was just every other paragraph, essentially.
And what part did she play in it?
Huh?
She play in it.
She was the one agreeing to the.
All right, talk.
But anyway, I think people are coming out a little bit more about it and talking about it.
But wait, I'm sorry. What happened in the end? What, she left him? She got shot in the book?
So she left him. Wrote a book about it. You know,
she didn't leave him. The man knocked up his side chick.
Huh?
And left her.
Eh?
The man knocked up his side chick and then she left.
Yeah, he impregnated like 2 girls or something.
He impregnated his real girlfriend.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, she was kind of the side chick.
Yeah.
Just read the book.
Don't read it.
But I thought that
no, I don't need to read it now. I know how it ends.
Story is part of like talking about this, right? Because it's a lot of hush hush, like we mentioned earlier, where you're not supposed to talk about what's inside your marriage outside, right? Go figure.
Right.
And I like the fact that she was courageous enough, at least from my point of view, to put that out there. So, I hope that domestic violence is not as bad as it used to be, but I think we are speaking up a little bit more about it.
I just hope that no woman has the gall to raise her hand and try to hit me, because I think that's trash. And if she does, God bless her heart. That's what I'm going to say.
So what's not trash? Like,
what's not trash?
It's trash.
I think it's trash.
No, it's foolishness. Like you and I have a disagreement, and then you go upside my head. Come on, really? Are we adults or are we in kindergarten? Like that's why it's trash. So obviously you don't need to be in anybody's relationship if you don't know how to talk something out. If you need to box me upside my head or slam my head into the washing and dryer for me to get the point, then we don't need to be dealing with each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why it's trash. Like, we're not kids. And both people should know, if I love you, why am I trying to provoke you to the point that you want to go upside my head?
Exactly. There we go.
And even if I don't love you, if I know that, okay, what I'm telling this person, the temper is rising, his chest is pumping, I'm going to keep going. And then I get what I'm looking for, and I go, oh, he hit me. Oh, how could a man hit me? You provoked them. We're all human beings. We just have different parts.
Provoke them physically or with your mouth?
Provoke them.
Doesn't matter. Any form of provoking.
I mean, I guess that's where I disagree with all of you guys. I don't think my mom should get me slapped. They're not my parents.
Don't tell me some guy bust your lip. Don't call me for that.
They're not my mom or my dad. My dad never laid a finger. I mean, granted, I never disrespected my dad, but
same thing. But I'm assuming your mom never instigated a situation, nor did you instigate a situation to lead that to happen. That's the point.
Very slick mouth, and that's probably where I got it from. But I don't. My dad never laid a finger on. My dad never laid a finger on my mom. My mom never hit my dad. So
that's your mom and your dad. You don't try it. It's a different time, a different generation.
I'm talking about with each other. I'm talking
about anybody.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They probably knew each other's temperament. She knew who she married. That's still a gamble. I don't think he would advise the next person to carry on with that type of relationship. Honestly, I wouldn't advise anybody to carry on that type of relationship.
Like I said, I have grown. Before, I was very hot-headed. I didn't put my hands on people, but I'd rather hurt you with my words than with my hands.
So
are you saying you're going to carry on with that? Is that what you're saying?
I said I have grown now.
No, but you keep saying... Okay, all right. I leave that.
So I guess
Your choice of abuse is words, right?
I am not. Are you trying to please not on this live broadcast before everybody will now start?
I know I'm asking because what I'm saying is, while that may be your choice of abuse, his choice of abuse may be his hand. Then we have a problem, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, man.
Well, time is running down. We do only have 5 minutes left. I do want to thank all 3 of you guys, especially the 2 that were on time and the other one that was very Nigerian time. But I appreciate everyone's contribution. I really do want to try and do this again. I kind of wrote in the chat other topics that we can possibly discuss again. Hopefully we can get a better feel of this whole Hangouts conference thing to where it can hopefully have better audio. Hopefully we get feedback from people. Hopefully this will spark some kind of conversation amongst people. Hopefully nobody will fight each other or beat each other over this.
Yeah, we'll fight.
But I would like to do this again with you guys. I feel like this is a nice group as far as the 4 of us talking about things like this. I feel like other things such as feminism or born abroad, born home, things like
the touchy subject.
Kennedy.
Yes.
I think these are topics and things that our generation should talk about, things that we should bring to light. Yeah, but because especially this domestic violence things, I really wish I could put up screenshots and just blank out some of the things that the men were saying, because they were saying some outright things.
You know how to deal with that? Anytime somebody says something, say yes, and I wish it for your sister and your mom as well. Why are you so? If it's so good, why can't the women in your family go through it as well? I'm serious.
They will say that their mom or their sister would not do such a thing. That's usually their response.
They're probably getting beat on right now.
Oh, get dead. Mr. Controversy. That should be your nickname. So again, I do want to thank you guys for it. This will be going on Ivory I Read. That is IJ's blog that I contribute to as a writer. The audio will go up on there. If you would like to leave your social media name with IJ, you can. And we hopefully will have another show shortly. Hopefully.
Thank you. Put my name down as John.
You said what?
Put my name down as John. I don't want to lose my job.
Okay, your name won't go in there at all. Yeah. Okay.
I know your plan.
Kenneth and Rebecca, we've been saying that name all night. Hopefully your close friends don't.
Yes, my name is Ikechukwu.
That's true. Kenneth is the only Rivers man on here. Everybody else is Igbo.
Wow, look at this snitch.
What part of Rivers? Hey, what part of Rivers? Are you queer?
No.
He's an Ogoni man.
Wow.
Full on snitching.
Wow.
What are you now?
This stool pigeon. Wow.
All right, everybody. We shall talk next time for the next show. Cool. I'll talk to you guys later.
It was nice talking to you guys.
All right, people.
Bye.
Till next time.
Thanks again.
All right. Keep your hands to yourself. Bye.
Bye.